Welcome, creators. I'm so excited to be here today, safely filming in the Pinterest New York office. I'm Babs Burchfield, co-founder of Conscious Commerce, creative director, producer, and creator. I've been partnering with Pinterest this year as they prepare to roll out new features like story pins and video made for creators. Personally, I love Pinterest because it's my go-to source of positive, inspiring content for every part of life. I love it even more now that I could publish my own ideas and engage with other creators directly. Pinterest is obviously changing as a platform with the release of native formats like story pins and video. Creators can now create directly on Pinterest and build an audience on the platform without needing a website to drive to. I'm here today to talk about telling stories and engaging with audience through content with my fellow creators, creatives, and friends. Dianna Cohen, creator and founder of Crown Affair. June Ambrose, costume designer, fashion icon, creator, stylist, and more. And Mikaela Reuben, culinary nutritionist and health consultant and a fabulous food creator. June, can you tell us a little bit about your journey becoming a creator and what inspires you to create content every day?
Well, I started my journey in the world of music and fashion, and that's all about the narrative. I mean, fashion is mute without style. Style is our voice. How do we express that? How do we share that message? I mean, it's all about putting the stories together. It's always been about storytelling for me when it came to fashion.
So I've been working in the e-commerce and consumer space for the last 8 years, and storytelling is such a huge part of connecting with the customer and educating them on our product and mission. I've been really lucky to work at a number of early consumer brands like Away and Outdoor Voices and Harry's, and social and just the internet in general and how we connect with people there is everything. So for Crown Affair, it's been a huge point of storytelling for us. And so much of the brand, which we launched 8 months ago, was kind of born on Pinterest and from Pinterest boards. So it's such a natural place for us to create and connect with our community.
I mean, it's funny, so many of us actually start by getting inspiration from Pinterest, and then as creators, we get to go back on and give more information to inspire, and then it's like a trickle effect, and then we just keep going for more. It's like, I feel it's such a healthy relationship with a social platform. Mikaela, what about you? Tell us about your journey to becoming a creator, the creator that you are, and then also making content off of the things that you actually are creating.
So I started off doing a master's in physiotherapy and realized kind of partway through that I preferred touching tomatoes rather than people's feet. So that was kind of a natural transition into the food world, and then I became a nutritional chef, and now learning how to use different platforms to kind of like get my message out. I realized that I create content because I want to inspire to be inspired. So that's kind of what brings me to Pinterest.
Yeah, and you do inspire. You and I talk a lot about healthy consumption, and a lot of times that translates to technology and healthy consumption and being mindful and making sure that you're actually like looking at things that you want to be in the world. And you obviously are talking about real hungry consumption, and it all makes so much sense with you. June, can you tell us a little bit about how you approach creating content and telling stories?
Well, I start from a place of inspiration. So, and I love keywords. Like, that's the fun part about Pinterest. It's like the keyword, it sends you down a rabbit hole, but a good rabbit hole. And you just get immersed into, just from that one word, into a world of color and content and very specific to what you want. And I always start from a place of inspiration. So if I'm thinking galactic and whether it's materials, if I have a material, but then I want another piece of that puzzle to add visually, I'll go and I put in the keyword and then it's born. I mean, like I said, it's a wonderland once you know the words that you want to use that send you right to the place that you need to be.
Searching galactic right now.
I don't want to know because we've had it out of the world last couple of months. So I think everyone in the universe is searching galactic or what planet can I visit besides Earth right now.
Yeah, out of this world fashion, by June Ambrose. So Dianna, how would you say you approach creating content and telling stories? So much of your brand is actually like, goes beyond just being a product. It's really about like how to take care of your hair, how to take care of yourself, and it like goes into the lifestyle of what Crown Affair represents. So what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so much of our mission is around ritual and care, which is not always the case in beauty in general. It's usually very, very kind of professional driven or tutorial driven. So when I sit with my team and we think about the stories that we're going to tell, it really does come from a place of holistic well-being, which I think is really refreshing in the hair care category. And as you said, we talk about so many other pieces. We know that our women and our community, yes, they care about their hair and they want to learn how to care for it, but they're also interested in so many things, art, music, other parts of their life. And I think for them, what's been so cool about the creator tool on Pinterest is it's been so different than any other platform or channel. And I love sitting with my team and making unique content for Pinterest and how we can tell stories. And it's just opened up a whole other world beyond product, beyond hair, but it does really still connect with our ethos at Crown Affair.
Mikaela, how would you say you have had to adjust your content making to modern day? And everybody's in the kitchen and feels like they're a chef all of a sudden, or is trying to bake every last thing. Have you adjust your inspiration based off of everyone's really asking you for information?
I feel like this current moment requires that I like up the amount of content I'm producing in a way that I've never done it before. And that's never quite been natural to what I do as a chef, because I'm not always a content producer by trade. So now I feel like the world is ready to receive more recipes and how-tos and understand what it is to be proficient in the kitchen, because we're in the kitchen a lot more than we thought we would be this year.
Yeah. They're hungry for it. They're hungry for that info. June, what about you? Has your has your world of creating changed at this time, and are you seeing that your audience is looking for something different?
That is such a good question, and it's so relevant because think about it. We are all getting dressed up for Zoom meetings. We're all some of us are dressing from the waist up. Some of us have taken this time to reinvent ourselves when we do come out of quarantine, that we are the new, that we're like, so, and I just always feel like sharing, the trade secret and antidotes and writing prescriptions for people that can make them feel like a superstar has always been a life journey. I've always felt that no man should be left behind, no woman should be left behind. And the idea of looking and feeling like a superstar, even if you have very little, should be always obtainable. So I find myself creating like content that feels like I'm living in a fantasy world, or how to reinvent my sweatpants, or how to retool comfort casual wear. Like everyone, the pajamas are the new couture gowns, and just creating the whole experience of style and fashion, and making it more of a place of a happy place, and not a place of frustration or neglect, or it's intimidation. When you think about fashion magazines, they're very intimidating. But in this world, and then in the Juniverse, we like it to be very approachable. So my content is fun, I don't take myself too serious, and I'm very over the top.
If not now, when? I mean, we're all, first of all, I want a story pin that is like, dressing above the belt in the Juniverse. That's number one. We'll look for that. Stay tuned. But
Thank you.
if this is our life right now, like how can you express yourself within that box? Well, it's so cool to say like it's freaking cool to be over the top right now. What do we have to lose? What a year has this been? I think a platform that really supports us just like being inspired, going for it, getting more ideas, and applying it to our own life is like, how cool is that? How cool is that?
I tell everybody I'm under construction. That's what my quarantine has been. I'm under construction. And when I come out, I'm going to be so fierce and so fabulous, and I'm going to pin it. You got to pin to win.
Dianna, how has this been? I mean, you have launched your business relatively recently, and then we all went into quarantine, and this has been an interesting year to have a new business. What would you say about like content and as it applies to your business, and how that has helped just, people like me continue to experience the brand?
Yeah, so we launched Crown Affair about 5 weeks before stay at home happened, and COVID was properly keeping us all at home. And I don't think anyone would have had the foresight that we wouldn't be able to rush to our salons or, go for a quick fix. And people, for the first time in like years, if not decades, were like, whoa, I have to like reorient myself to my hair, and like, how do I do this? And so much of what we ended up putting on Pinterest through this tool originally came from text messages from friends. They would be like, okay, how do I air dry my hair? Like, now that I'm not running around every day, like, what's this twisty technique? And the thing that Babs is saying is my famous like twist and clip that gives you like, for my type of hair, it just gives you like a really nice air dry. And so much of this just came from like authentic questions from people trying to figure out what they should do right now. So none of us could have ever predicted that this would happen. There's so many tiny little silver linings in this challenging time. And I think that that is one of them, is that people are connecting around this in a way maybe they would have with skincare or other categories in beauty. So we've definitely changed our strategy, and the stories on Pinterest have been so incredible and continue to spark ideas beyond the platform as well for us. So
Pinterest right now, as we all have been introduced to, is obviously changing quite a bit as a platform, and the release of native formats such as story pins and videos has really become a new tool for us. This is like we're learning too. How have you all used these new formats to create on Pinterest and build an audience?
Yeah, so I love using the story pins because it doesn't feel as hard for me to learn it. I am now a chef. I have to sometimes be a gardener. I am a recipe designer. Now I'm a food stylist and photographer. I'm like happy that I'm not having to learn like extreme video editing programs, and it's very straightforward and user friendly. And I also love the idea that the content lasts. So if I make something, it kind of like sits and it can be searchable later. And now there's like it's just very conducive to being creative and kind of exploring what is out there. I'm really enjoying it.
June, what about you? How has your experience been trying to use story pins and video? And I love your videos.
Well, what I love is that it's where the like-minded people hang out. That part makes it really, really fun. And knowing, like you said, that you're creating content that's going to live on, you start to feel like an editor at large. You start to kind of feel like you're wearing a bob and dark glasses, and it really puts you in a place. And it's simple, it's colorful. It has a voice. I like the fact that it's easy because I don't profess to be tech savvy by no means. So, and it's a platform that, in terms of the age demographic, both my 16-year-old and I can do it and not feel like we're competing. It's just it's a common meeting ground, and we get to add music and we get to dance and we still get to storytell in the process, and you really get to see us.
I think something that's so cool about Pinterest as a platform is your audience is coming there to be inspired.
But do you find like your creative, juices just, it kind of just explodes because you find yourself, like I use, home decor as inspiration in fashion. I use even, things from on the beauty side. I use food is fashion. You know what I mean? There's colors and there's accents and there's certain approaches to how you can season a look that I get visually from all of the aspects of what we're talking about here today. So all of you inspire me, daily, even in my world of fashion. I don't feel like you're put in a box in the Pinterest world.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
That's right. So from all of you, I'd love to hear some trends and insights you have for creating content on Pinterest. What what you're making right now?
Well, it started with sourdough, then it went to banana bread, and now I think it's kind of like batch cooking, how to cook less, create more, and have it like sustain you for a longer time.
Yeah, because everyone can't possibly be the chef that they were in April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all getting, if this is the new normal, we need to also have time outside of the kitchen. But it was really fun.
And June, what about you?
Bless you, Mikaela, because I cooked like a sous chef during quarantine. I was like, get me out of here. I don't even want to look at food anymore.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
namaste. I'm seeing a lot of just like, easy, how to like glamouflage your COVID curves, how to, things, easy ways to reinvent a look, like, or how to like transition your wardrobe because we missed seasons, we missed the spring season and now we're into the fall season. So just kind of transitioning your wardrobe out, how to also just kind of get your home, which is like, part of your style in order. A lot of people, because we're been home, for so many months, we realize how important that's part of our overall style and flair, and what that backdrop looks like. So there's a lot of reinventing of the space, and using fashion trends to do that, whether it's prints, whether it's color. I'm seeing a lot of that as well.
First of all, I'm still in the banana bread phase, Mikaela. I never left it. So continuing on that journey for myself. No, one of the things we're seeing, I think early days, it really started as people having the curiosity for how to care for themselves and take care of their hair. But it's really evolved into rituals from a holistic perspective. So how you start your morning, how you end your evenings. I think all of us, myself included, are looking for structures to ground us right now during this time, especially if your routines have been a little bit shuffled. So that's been huge for us. And Babs, to your point about people really showing up to Pinterest with an intention that's different than other places on the internet, around inspiration, around taking care of themselves. So that trend, yes, the hair care piece, but really around rituals and creating structures has been incredible to see.
Based off of what you've learned, do you have any advice for creators that want to get started and grow their audience? What are the takeaways that you've learned putting content up for Crown Affair?
So people are loving the how-to structures of some of our rituals. So really breaking it down with a short form video with text over just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's so nice that you can save it and continue to come back to it. And people are really responding. Like, truthfully, it's me and my phone. I'm taking content straight in the app. This isn't like an overly produced moment with tons of editing. And I think our community is really responding to that. And you see it in the comments and you see it in the repins. And a great way to get started is by like just getting started and seeing how people respond.
That's probably like the best advice that I would give is get out of your own way and use an easy platform and just go. To your point as well, it's just like do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
June, you were talking about not necessarily always being so tech savvy. Isn't it cool that Pinterest has this new platform? It's super easy. You could just get in there and make a video. Like, what's your experience been? What advice do you have for creators that kind of maybe feel shy?
I mean, literally, when I first got on it, I just assumed it was going to be overwhelming because I felt like every other platform that I was on before was. And then it was literally plus, swipe, plus, add. And it really does the work, a lot of the work for you. And it just allows you to be a little bit more free. And like you said, Meredith, get out of your own way. I think that Mikaela said it the best when she said that, because once you get on it, you just get better and better and better. And you get your rhythm.
It's so cool to be able to share the behind the scenes and actually inspire someone to get off a platform and go out in the world and do it. I've heard before there's this thing of being Pinterest perfect, but like that's there's no such thing anymore. Like, it's about like getting it out there. People want to know, people want to learn. There's so much we can learn on the platform and then take off and try ourselves and just and just keep getting information. So it's like cool to be part of a community. We could share what we're all great at and can just continue to learn and pin. I mean, I have an entire board of all of your story pins that, you know, I attempt every day. So what type of engagement and growth have you been seeing from your story pins?
It's been incredible for us. I always joke that Pinterest is a little bit of like this universe where one thing might get repinned and then it totally spirals and you check back and you're like, this has 1 million views on it. And it's so rare for that to happen in any other platform because the way that people are just engaging with it and repinning it, like the nature of that repin, I think is really powerful, probably more powerful than just a like and then kind of passing it. There's like an engagement level there with the content I have not seen anywhere else, and it continues to increase. I love getting notifications that our totally organic content will hit 10,000 views within a few hours. So it's been amazing.
I agree. I'm with Dianna on that. It's just nice to kind of get the natural gratification and feedback. And also the analytics really tell you what kind of content that your viewers and followers are into, and that really allows you to kind of create content on what their appetites are. So that's been really very rewarding.
Yeah, I like that as well. You can really see what people are interested in right away. And also, it feels like what you put in, you get back. Like there's a direct correlation. It's not like you work all day and then you don't see the reward of it. You like put something out and right away you see engagement increase.
Yeah. And it seems like when you have a Pinterest business account, you can even see what the trends are and then make content that you know everyone's looking for. So it's rewarding in that way too. Thank you, Dianna, June, and Mikaela for being here today. Be sure to check them all out on Pinterest for beauty, wellness, food, and fashion inspiration.